Hey everybody, Zach again, newtutorial.com, coming in making a video for you today. And I just made a video the other day on just how easy it is for us to be desensitized and put our guard down and switch off our radar and turn off our filters, because the world is constantly pummeling you with what it says is cool, and those things don't necessarily line up with the Father's word. And so it's easy to look at something and be totally just taken in by it, and oh, it's fine, it's okay. Again, the Count Chocula and the cereal. It's just chocolate. Everyone likes chocolate. Well, not when you put a vampire on it that drinks blood, something that the Father's word says not to do. And it's just the Count. It's the Sesame Street. Zach, everyone likes Sesame. See, these things help desensitize you into what is wrong and right. You have no idea anymore what's wrong or right. And see, when you turn your filter off for such a long period of time, it's really, really hard to get it back on. It's really hard. And then you begin to fight people when they try to tell you, hey, warning, this stuff isn't right. This is wrong. What you're looking at is wrong. What you're looking at is evil. It's wicked. And you begin to fight against people like that who try to bring that stuff to your attention. And all they're trying to do is help you in love and say, hey, what you're doing is wrong. It offends the God of the universe, your creator, who loves you and who wants to be worshipped by you. You begin to fight against that. So, this past week, Aquaman is out. And see, this is one of the reasons I get in trouble. This is why I don't get invited to events, or I get disinvited to events sometimes. Because, I point these things out. Because people don't want to do their own digging. They love the fact that their filter is switched off. They like being switched off from their filter. Because it's easy. I get it. Aquaman. So years ago, and I will keep telling people about this, The Replacement Gods. There's a movie out called The Replacement Gods. You need to watch this. If you have older children, you can watch it with your children. It's okay. Older children, teenagers. But, parents, you guys need to watch it, especially young parents. If you have young children, you need to watch this so your filter can be switched on permanently. The Replacement Gods, unbelievable movie, documentary that came out a few years back, and it is excellent. And you begin to see the stuff of what it is. Aquaman. Let me be a Debbie Downer for you today, folks. So anyway, Aquaman came out, and, first off, these DC Comics and Marvel comic writers that are out there for these different movies that are out there, they're all into the occult. Amazingly so. And that documentary points that out. Okay, it actually lists a couple of them, namely Grant Morrison and Alan Moore. Alan Moore says he worships the god Glycon. There's no doubt about these guys from the cult. Grant Morrison's an admitted warlock. Again, witches. I just did a video about witches. And warlocks, we're to stone them, and we are putting entertainment in front of our eyes, in our children's eyes, that are written by people who are deeply held into the occult. The guy Jeff Johns and James Wan, both of these guys who wrote Aquaman, are deeply involved in the occult. Witches, things that our Father says to stone people over. Jeff Johns and James Wan, both of these guys, go look at their past work. There's no hiding it. Go look at some of the things they have come out with. Go look at what their personal involvement is in life. Dig down deep and see what these guys are about. It's witchcraft. It's the occult. They love this stuff. And they love making movies about it. Because why? That's their passion. So, Aquaman, who's behind all this? Who wrote the story? What message are they trying to convey? Slightly. To get you, again, it's Count Chocula. Oh, it's just a movie. It's just a comic, Zach. It's fine. It's a superhero. It's mass conditioning. On a scale that is just slight, just enough to get you under the radar, just enough to get you to laugh, just enough to get you to root for the hero. He's fighting evil. It's good against evil. Again, the whole thing. Good witches, bad witches. The Bible doesn't differentiate. It's bad. It's all evil. It's all wicked. Stone them with stones, it says. and we get sucked in. So today I'm on Facebook, and I see a couple people posting a video of the star of Aquaman, and he's doing the haka, or the whatever it's called. I don't know, some kind of dance. Well, I remember when I did all the whole Christmas stuff, back then, and everyone says, "Oh, Zach, Christmas isn't pagan. There's no connection to pagan." I'm like, come on, seriously? Anyway, during all that research, the haka came up, and I never really went down too deep into it, but because I never really saw it a whole lot. But, I saw it today, and I went back and I looked at my research, and I'm like, oh, this is all related to sun god worship. And you can go on Wikipedia. I mean, it talks about the origins of the haka, and it is sun god worship. It's related to sun god worship. The sun god, who by other accounts is named Ra, which goes back to Egypt, the sun god, according to the haka, has two wives. A summer wife and a winter wife. I mean, can you see where this is going? Let's read it. Let's go ahead and read it. Here it is, a haka over at Wikipedia. Origins, and I'm going to butcher some of these names because their names are going to be hard to pronounce. So, origins, according to the Karitu, the haka has been erroneously defined by generations of the uninformed as war dances, whereas Maori mythology places haka as the dance about the celebration of life. Now, there's a big red flag right there. So, if you have your filter switched on, when it even mentions the celebration of life, a red flag should just go ping. Because, you go back and I've done videos on the carnival, which in our country we call it Mardi Gras, but the rest of the world calls it carnival. What is carnival about? It's the celebration of life. It's the return of spring. It's that whole worship and fertility rites. This is the celebration of life because life is returning in the spring after the winter solstice. Big red flag comes up. According to its creation story, the sun god, Tamu Ni Tara, which is really Ra, the sun god Ra, goes back to Egypt, had two wives. The summer maid, called Hain Ramati, and the winter maid, Hain Takura. Haka originated in the coming of Hain Ramati, whose presence, so basically the coming of summer. Because at this time, the winter solstice, just 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Maybe when the video comes out, you're seeing now, maybe 3 days ago. So Hain Ramati is coming. Because, and if you go back and you look up Hain Takura, the sun god would leave her on the winter solstice and go back to his summer wife. Because why? At the beginning of the winter solstice, the sun starts to get higher and higher each day in the sky. Thus the coming of summer. I mean, it's all paid. Now, it got morphed and over, the centuries, the haka became, about war dances, and now it's about anything. You can do it for any reason now. But you hear this language that they're using inside of this, and, what are they saying? It's about, the origins of this is about sun god worship. But see, our filters are switched off. We don't know. And here is the guy of Aquaman, the Aquaman star, and everyone's sharing these videos on Facebook, and I've seen, you can search Google, it's all over Google, about him doing the haka, and everyone's like, oh, this is so cool, it's so awesome, look at all the little kids, they're doing it too, it's so cute. And I'm like, dude, this is just wrong. It's wickedness. The Father looks at this stuff and says, this is about pagan sun god worship. That's where it came from. That's where it originates from. It's about people who actually used to use this dance as a way to worship a false god. And it breaks his heart. He says, my creation, the ones whom I love, the ones who I made after my own image, are worshiping something that doesn't even exist. I mean, it breaks his heart. We've got to get our filter switched on. The days may be shortened. The days may be shortened because none of us are going to make it if we don't. No flesh would make it. I mean, that verse makes so much more sense. Because we're constantly getting pummeled over and over and over again. The enemy's constantly trying to desensitize us. And it's just sad. Anyway, I'm seeing that today, and I just did a video on this, witches and witchcraft, and how so many 1.5 million people now in this country identify as witches. And I mean, what do you expect? We've brought yoga into the churches and Harry Potter book clubs into the churches. And, we've forgotten what sin is. Sin is transgression of the law. This haka thing, idolatry. The comic stuff, idolatry. It's the replacement gods. Go watch that documentary. Please watch that documentary. And then share it with everyone you know. You can find it for free on YouTube or Vimeo. Watch that documentary. How are we going to make it? Go home, read your Bible. Thanks.